BAM! Is it done? Okay. This is Anthony Torres. It is April 21st, 2016, and I am doing my first, let's just call it, this is in the works, Anthony Torres' Takes. This is the first of maybe many. When I bring them out, they'll be way, old, and they won't really have to deal with what's going on that very day. But these are my way to practice kind of this genre. I'm very interested in doing maybe something talk show-ish, maybe being an analyst, a commentator, something like that. And this is my way of practicing. So, all of you people, if 1, 0, whoever, a half, gets to watch this, you get to see where I started from. If I end up being famous and whatever, who knows. So, this is Anthony Torres' Anthony Torres' Takes. So, April 21st, 2016. Today's been an interesting day. I had my psychology class at ACC. We were just doing surveys. Not really a big deal. It was pretty lax. Then we had my mass communications class, which was interesting. There was some conversation about a few different things. One guy kind of cut me off in the middle of my point and was very condescending. It was just made me a little angry, but I was like, I wanted to say something, but he just cut me off in the middle and kept harping on one little nitpicky thing and wouldn't let me finish. So, but moving on. So, Prince passed away today. It's I listened to his music and I've known about him. I wasn't really listening to his music when he was blowing up and he was when he was at his apex. But I know a lot about him, and I know his music affected a lot of people. So it was very big news when I heard that. I heard that when I was in my psychology class, and somebody was on their phone because we were just in the middle of just kind of doing nothing, and somebody said Prince died, and I thought it was they were just joking, because I was like, come on, he's not dead. What? How? And I checked on my phone. Everybody checked their phones right after, and it was true. So I was shocked. I was surprised. It's crazy. And for those who don't know, which is probably everybody, I'm a humongous wrestling fan, and I started watching wrestling around late 2002. But I'm kind of a wrestling nerd and a wrestling geek, and when I've had my free time, I've gone back and watched a lot of older wrestling that occurred from before I was watching to when I wasn't even born. And late 90s, early 2000s, there was DX, the Generation X. And one of the main cores of that group was the woman named Chyna. And she was kind of a changer, because she was one of the first women to win, to be a part of the King of the Ring, to be a part of the Royal Rumble, to be the first woman to ever win the Intercontinental Championship, to ever win, I think, a men's championship. I might be wrong there, and I enjoyed her work, and I watched all of it, all the way through. I remember her having a lot of interactions with Eddie Guerrero. They had some storylines, and they worked together, and they worked very well together, and he was my favorite wrestler ever, so I remember watching and enjoying it, and I thought she was great, and by the time when I actually really started watching hardcore, she had already left, and there had been issues between WWE and her, and whatever they were, I don't really know, but she passed away, and that kind of hit me very hard, because I remember watching all this old wrestling, and really being a big fan of her work, and knowing through the rumor websites and the news websites that she had her issues, but with I believe with substance abuse, and I know how that can go. I understand. I can relate, and yeah, I'll just say it. As a person who has gone through issues with substance abuse, but has been sober for for years now. I understand it's a fight, it's a battle, and I pray every day for everybody that goes to that battle. And I hope she's in a better place right now, and that she's not. And I'm glad she's not suffering. Just from afar, that's all I can tell. I don't know much personally, but you know, God bless her, honestly, and anybody that goes through that battle, it's a tough one, and you gotta be strong. So now I was watching also a Dan Le Batard show with Stu Gatz, and they have this guy who made the 30 for 30 with about OJ, and I recently watched the OJ Simpson, The People versus OJ, on FX, and it was a really, really good show, really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and I heard this is from people who have watched both. This is supposedly, and it's a small amount of people so far, it's supposedly even better. So I'm really looking forward to this documentary. And anybody that sees this, check it out. Look it up. Look online. See when exactly the day and the time is. I believe it's June 11th. It's supposed to start. So when I put this video online, maybe it should be before that. So you'll get some time to know. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't hope to tell you like 2017. Hey, go check out that OJ thing. But hey, if it's 2017, go check out that OJ thing because it's apparently very well done. So my takes are, let's go with one controversial one maybe. Ooh, I don't know if it should be controversial. I might get some heat. Okay. So I think it's very about the transgender bathroom situation that's going on with the laws in North Carolina. I believe that as somebody who knows people who are transgender, have friends that have met people, and know that I think one of the things that causes these issues are people that don't really know people who are in that situation, are that are transgender, that don't that maybe have been born female but pertain themselves to be more male, or vice versa, is that they just don't understand, and that can cause people to be a little bit scared, a little bit caught off. And I understand people being, I guess, weirded out by that. People are allowed to have their own opinions. My only thing is, does this need to be a law? Now, I respect the people who believe it, who are offended by this, and I respect the people who believe that this needs to be changed, that this is form of discrimination. Some people say that this is not even an issue, it's the media that's making it an issue, when, in my opinion, it's an issue because there are people that decide to make it into a law. If there were people that came together and decided, let's make this law, nobody would be reporting about it, and it wouldn't really be an issue. So in my point of view, I believe that if somebody's a transgender woman, they should be allowed to be in the woman's room, and if they're a transgender man, they should be allowed to be in the men's room. If I see somebody who their body they've made themselves to look more like a man, but their face, you look at their face and then they look like a woman, I'm not going to yell at the person. I'm not going to scream at the person. I'm not going to even complain at the person about it to anybody, because I believe that as long as that person doesn't do anything to me, I don't really care what they do with their life. If they have to go to the bathroom, they go to the bathroom. There is one take that I have heard that wherever this gets, I can understand and empathize, is that if there are women that are in a woman's room and a transgender woman who used to be a man comes in and they feel uncomfortable, then what do you do? My belief is, in this case, this is kind of the thing of, if it should be a place by place thing. If you go to a restaurant and the women that are there don't feel comfortable with it, then you make the policy according to that, and you let people know that this is what the policy is. But to make it a law everywhere, it's just, to me, seems like another form of discrimination, another form of people not being comfortable with something, so they have to try to make a law to deal with it. If people have different points of view, that's totally cool. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That was just mine. Um, I support, gay marriage. I support all these rights that people have, and I support people's right to have a religion, to have their religion, to be proud of their religion. Only time I ever have a problem is when people have the religion and take pride in the religion, but use their religion as a way to discriminate. Because I'm not going to tell somebody that they cannot believe in any God that they want to believe in. But to tell somebody else that because I believe in this God, you don't have the right to do something, that's where I differ. And I believe in a higher power. I believe in God, but I also believe that we're supposed to love each other and cherish each other and take care of each other and like each other and be good to each other. And any way that we use religion as a way to tell people that you are not allowed to do something because it's my religion, you're not allowed to do something. That's where I have an issue. Now let's just move on from that issue. NBA playoffs are going on right now. I'm really excited about it. I'm just double checking. It's been okay. It's been pretty good. There's been quite a few blowouts that I've not loved. One of the most exciting games, though, I'm just checking the schedule just to double check what games are on right tonight. Yeah, there you go. The games I've liked the most have been like the Pistons versus the Cavaliers has been really good, and my favorite was probably Game 2 of the Dallas Mavericks versus Oklahoma City Thunder. And here we had you have two stars on the Thunder that should be bona fide superstars. You have two stars that should be winning championships year after year because you got two of the top 10, top 8, maybe debatably even top 5 players in the league today. And you have them going against a team, the Mavericks, that have had to deal with injury, deal with a roster that's kind of just been all over the place. And in Game 1, the Thunder just humiliated the Mavericks. But in Game 2, it was just back and forth and close, and just a battle, and a great battle. And it was extremely exciting. And to my surprise, and the surprise of many people, in what I've heard, is one of the biggest upsets in playoff basketball in decades. Was when the Mavericks beat the Thunder. So today's Game 3. I'm hoping for another great game. You never know. The playoffs this year have been more lopsided than I would like. I'm the kind of person that likes that. I don't really care. Well, I'm a Spurs fan, but for all the other games, I don't really care who wins. I just care that it's close. So when a game's up by when their team's up by 25, and it's it's barely halfway done, it's kind of it's just not fun. I think it's the same way for a lot of people, but just for me, it's just not fun. So I'm hoping we get more close games. It's the first round, so the best versus the worst. That's kind of how it's supposed to go. But hopefully in the next round we get much more closer games. Or hopefully starting today, maybe. Good luck. We'll see. Every game is really close and really exciting and to the last second. And that would be great. Where's going on? Okay. And so lastly, I'm going to talk about wrestling, because that is one of the things I like to talk about. In this thing, I'm going to talk about just any random things that are coming up, that are going on in the world. I like to talk about politics or social issues or sports. And one of my passions is wrestling. If I could, I kind of have back issues. So wrestling might not be the best because people's back and spine issues. I don't know. My dream would be to be a part of the WWE. whether it be as a manager, an announcer, a commentator, some kind of on-screen figure. If I could wrestle and somebody could tell me, a doctor would tell me, yeah, you'd be totally great, and then they were to tell me, WWE would tell me, yes, we'd love you to be here. I would go there in 1 second. I'm just being realistic here. I like to be realistic at times. But I have such a passion for it that it would be something that I would love to do. So what we're going to go into just a little bit for a few minutes, is the changes that are going on in the WWE. Now, it seems like WrestleMania was what it was. There was some cool moments and some moments that, were hit or miss. And it's kind of funny. I actually tweeted at Road Dogg, Jesse James, the wrestler, that I heard I was being very obnoxious. That's why I tried on Twitter. I don't like being obnoxious on Twitter, but I was just it was just a time, a little period during I was just stressed out and I was being obnoxious. Stuff was going on. It was it's not a big deal. I was a little stressed out, so I was being obnoxious. I was like, I heard nothing interesting is going to happen tonight. It was the night after WrestleMania. It was dumb of me to do that, because after it happened, we had Cesaro return. We had Apollo Crews debut. We had Baron Corbin make his debut, even though he appeared at WrestleMania before. His Raw debut. We had Enzo and Cass debut. And we had a new #1 contender made, and AJ Styles. So it was a really cool show. And then the next week, we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson showing up. Bullet Club, baby. It is too sweet. I can't do that right. Too sweet. They've been rumored to show up for a long time, and then also, this is NXT. It's a little different. But you got NXT. You got Shinsuke Nakamura. You got Samoa Joe. You got Austin Aries. You got Finn Balor. You got Bayley. You got Asuka. You got a whole bunch of great things going on there. But on the main roster, I was kind of, bumming out a little bit, because I felt like I was, caught up in the storm of the Roman Reigns thing. And I'm actually a big fan of Roman Reigns. But it was the thing of, we wanted Roman Reigns to be slightly different, maybe a little more heelish, or a heel in general. And after the night after WrestleMania, he starts to change. He's being a little more heelish. He's being a little more arrogant. He's being a little different. He's not kind of being the cookie cutter kind of they were going for, I think they were going for an underdog kind of thing, but he was being more of hey, it's this simple. He's not a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's the guy. He's the man. He's the guy he's, as Cena would call himself, the face that runs the place. And you kind of want that. You want something different. And they've been showing that they want to push forward, and now we're going to get a whole lot of great things coming up. It's already, you can see it. You got Ambrose versus Jericho, who I think Jericho is doing some fantastic work right now. You got Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. You got AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. And this past Monday, for a match that I was already very excited about, this past Monday just put it through the roof, because I was already excited about this match. I know Roman Reigns is a great wrestler. Just people I think people's big thing is the character that he presents. They want something different. It's kind of the thing with Cena. If people tell you Cena's not a good wrestler, they're just being ridiculous. If people tell you Cena's not good on the mic, they're just crazy. Cena's great on the mic. Cena's great in the ring. But the thing is, it's just, and I know everybody says Cena's a great guy, so I totally believe he's a great guy. And it's nothing to do with that. It's not like every bad guy has been a good bad guy because they're a real jerk in real life. Some of them maybe have, I don't know. But it's just that they wanted something a little different. So you got this kind of new, more arrogant Roman Reigns that's a little more of a tweener. He's not exactly good guy, he's not a bad guy, he's the guy. So he's a tweener. And then you got babyface AJ Styles. And at first I was like, this is gonna match really well. This kind of reminded me a bit of when Roman Reigns was having his feud with Daniel Bryan. Those two they were two kind of opposites in how they looked, kind of how they acted, kind of what they represented, if you think about it. and they just kind of made this great kind of great energy between them, and great chemistry. But then you throw in now, you got Roman Reigns being attacked by AJ Styles' buddies in the Bullet Club. But now AJ's saying, they're my buddies, but I don't know anything about what they're doing. They have nothing to do with me. I didn't plan this. And then you got Roman not believing them. And the week prior, you got Gallows and you got Anderson attacking the Usos, Reigns' cousins. So what's the connection? And it's just so I'm very excited because I don't know what they're gonna do. As somebody who's watched wrestling for about 14 years now, and I've also watched like everything from before I started watching, you kind of get an idea of where this is gonna go. And there are theories that I've heard circling around, and I actually am okay with 2 out of the 3 of them. The first one is AJ is just kind of fooling everybody and becomes a heel and joins the Gallows and Anderson and makes the Bullet Club against Reigns. To me, I feel like that would be a way of making him trying to push him back into a full-fledged babyface and making AJ like the heel leader. And I kind of feel like AJ's momentum is kind of going in the direction of he's going up in terms of gaining over as a babyface, and you would kind of like, I don't know, it would just be really weird. I feel like a lot of fans that have started who maybe didn't really know too much about him and have grown to love him are going to be like, oh, I don't know now. So I know some people like that, but I kind of think like that would kind of mess with AJ's momentum. Another one is what Finn Balor has teased for like months, which is actually possibly my personal favorite, and it's just pretty simple. Luke Gallows and Anderson attack Reigns, and then when AJ looks like he's like not happy about it, he doesn't want them to be attacking his opponent because he wants to win on his own merit, they attack him, and they turn on them both. So Reigns is not going to be full-fledged babyface, and AJ's not going to become a heel, but they're both going to be attacked, and there's going to be somebody pulling the strings. And I've heard some people say, and I've heard that theory that it could be, well, people want it to be Finn Balor. And I honestly, I've seen Finn live several times, and he's a great performer. He's great in the ring. And he has this great aura about him that just makes you gravitate to him. But I feel like as somebody who's watched his work prior to him coming here, he's much better on the mic and character, even in the ring, I think, as a heel. And I think if you're gonna bring Finn Balor up, he should have his own form of the Bullet Club, because that's, I believe, when they hired him. Well, yeah, when they hired him, he was in the Bullet Club, and they did it because they saw the kind of personality that he had in that role. So to me, it would seem like weird to bring him up from the main roster and not have him be a part of this club. It doesn't have to be called Bullet Club, because I don't think they can legally call him that on the air, but they can change the name. It doesn't matter. They can call him whatever they want. Call it, like, I don't know, whatever. And then the third theory that would squash kind of my hope that Balor would come up and be with Gallows and Anderson to make their own new version of the Bullet Club is you have Roman Reigns, even though, let me just say what the thing is. You have Roman Reigns turn full-fledged heel. You have the swerve is that Gallows and Anderson turn on AJ and Too Sweet Roman Reigns and join him to form their own new group. Like, I think you call it the Roman Empire, the Empire, whatever it's called. It's going to be called. And at first, at that theory, I wasn't a big fan of it, because I thought, no, I want Finn to be with them, and Roman shouldn't be with them. That's not right, and that's not cool. And then I realized that's exactly why they would do it. Because if one of the things is, if the worry could be is why they haven't turned him heel is, hey, we turn him heel, he's going to get cheered anyway, so what's the point of turning him heel? It's the same thing that people have been saying about John Cena forever. So the idea could be is you turn him heel, and you get the casuals to boo him. So that's already gonna knocked off. Boom, he's a bad guy now. But the smart fans, the hardcore fans, are going to probably be very angry that what they hope to be Bullet Club is not going to happen. Because it's not going to be AJ in charge. It's not going to be Finn Balor in charge. It's going to be Roman Reigns. Why is he in charge of Bullet Club? He doesn't have the right to be in charge of Bullet Club. That's what I'm guessing is the mentality that would be behind that decision. And you get the smart fans to be angry because, hey, you took our Bullet Club and you put Roman Reigns in there. And now Roman Reigns took something from us that we wanted. Roman Reigns took what we love and messed with it. So I'm guessing that would be the theory. That way, if you're going to turn him heel, you can turn him into the biggest heel in the company, bar none. He's already, some people already say, the biggest heel in the company, but, you know, I don't exactly equate being booed because they don't like you because, well, it's complicated. I equate being a good heel as being booed because they don't like you, and that's what you're trying to do. Being booed because they don't like you, but you're trying to be a babyface, does not equate what a good heel is to me, or a true heel. So, like, The Miz, the greatest heel, and my favorite right now on the roster, because he's exactly like that. He tries to get people to boo him, and they boo him. Whereas some other heels, they try to get people, they become a heel and they do bad stuff, but they kind of try to be the cool heel, and, which I don't have a problem with trying to be a cool heel, but it kind of can be rough because then you get the fans. Half the fans are going to be cheering you when the point of being a heel is to get the fans, all the fans, to be cheering for the babyface. That should be the point of being a heel. You get them to cheer the good guys. Maybe I'm a little old school in that theory, but that's the way I believe. So we could end up with the Roman Empire. We could end up with Finn Balor as in charge of the new Bullet Club, or we get, AJ turning heel and joining with Gallows and Anderson. And to me, that makes the main event must see because it makes it such a humongous. It could be a company, a show-altering show, because the direction it takes could be what we see for the next year. It really could be a humongous show. Or they could kind of just do nothing. I don't know. The hope is that they're going to use this show to kind of launch everything forward, because here's the match card so far, if I remember correctly. We got Charlotte versus Natalya, Women's Championship. That should be a great match. We got the Vaudevillains debuted, and they're facing Enzo and Cass for the number one contendership for the tag titles. So you got two NXT call-ups fighting for the number one contendership. That's really good. That's really good. That's really great, actually, because you want that. You don't want them to come up, and then next thing you know, they don't get any presence on pay-per-view or on the show. You want these guys to come up and to get some presence on the biggest shows that they can be on. It looks like the direction they're going for is Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, with Baron Corbin I guess going over, which I'm cool with because I like Ziggler, but I think Corbin's the guy you go behind. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. I think it's going to be the beginning of a long feud, so I think it's going to be great, but it's not going to be the best match they're going to have. So it should be still really entertaining. Ambrose versus Jericho. I love Ambrose. I think he's great. But I feel like the Lesnar match, the way it was set up and the way he lost, and even though Jericho lost to AJ the night after WrestleMania, the fact that he won at WrestleMania and he recently beat Sami Zayn, he's kind of got this whole smart, destroyer thing going, and I feel like he's got the momentum, and instead of doing 50-50 booking, Ambrose is great enough that I think he can take the loss and Jericho can kind of go back up, because the biggest criticism for Jericho has been that he loses too much, and if you want to totally get rid of that, have him win maybe more than all the smart fans think he should. And I would do that because Ambrose, I feel like even if Ambrose wins this match, he's not going to get much out of it. Whereas he can lose this match and then move on to something better. So I think Jericho should win that, and he should keep like kind of beating guys that the Smarks kind of like, the fans like, and it should build up to him putting over somebody that's a bit newer on the roster and needs to make their mark. He's been like feuding or messing with Shinsuke Nakamura online, and some of the rumors are that maybe they're going to meet up when WWE comes to Japan, or maybe they're going to wait and then maybe debut Nakamura at SummerSlam and have him face Jericho at SummerSlam. But I feel like if you build up Jericho now throughout the next few months, and then you have him lose, so that he kind of like rebuilt his credibility. Even though he's a legend in the business. But if you look at the guys who are like on a roll and just have him going on this roll that's just making people just hate him, and he's beating all the guys that we like, and he's just one of those old guys. Even though I love Jericho, but that's like the outrage you always see online. He's burying our favorite wrestlers. You do that, and then have a new guy in Nakamura come up and beat him, and just like beat him down in a great match. Boom. For people who don't watch NXT, for haven't seen him in Japan, and it's their first their first image of Nakamura is seeing him versus Chris Jericho and beating Chris Jericho after Chris Jericho's been on such a roll, that's gonna really make him, I think, on the main roster. So I spoke a little more than I thought I would, actually. Surprised. They should be around 30 minutes or less, so it depends on what's going on. I might try to do them once a week, maybe more. So they shouldn't always be this long, unless something crazy has gone on in the world. But that is episode 1 of Anthony Torres' Takes. I hope you've enjoyed it. Enjoy the playoffs, if you like that. Enjoy WWE, if you like that. And enjoy life. There shouldn't be if you like that after that, because you should just enjoy life, live it, enjoy it. Or Netflix, chill, just enjoy it, have fun. If sitting on a couch and doing nothing is enjoyable, then do it. If going out to a movie is enjoyable, then do it. Enjoy your life. Don't let anybody else tell you how to enjoy it. So keep on doing you. I'm going to think of a catchphrase, because why not? I'll just be corny like that. If anybody has any ideas for a catchphrase that doesn't involve me saying, oh, okay. Sorry, something came up on the screen. Pop up. So, thank you for listening, if you have. And, see you later.